Hello everyone, this is Easy Natural English with Liam. So I'll be talking with no script and no editing, and I'm going to be speaking in English that's a bit easier but still nice and natural. And today going to talk a bit about carbohydrates. So maybe you don't even know what carbohydrates are. So in the last episode I talked about fat, and I'm trying to talk a bit about nutrition. I'm not an expert in nutrition, just an English teacher, but I thought that these are words that are quite important. They come up in conversation, they come up in the news, they come up on TV. So yeah, today I'm going to talk about carbohydrates. And often people shorten carbohydrates to carbs. And so today I'll probably use the word carbs because it's much shorter than carbohydrates, which is a long word. So carbohydrates are in our food. They are a macronutrient. So when you look at the calories on the food, you'll see the calories come from fat, carbohydrate, and protein. And carbohydrates are like, you might think of them as like kind of sugar. They're not all sugar, but sugar is a carbohydrate. And then when you eat foods like pasta or bread, so things made from wheat flour or other types of flour, those foods usually have a lot of carbohydrate. So does rice, so would noodles, so even fruit. So all these foods have carbohydrates. So it's kind of energy that our body needs to function. And it's a very quick, easy source of energy. Last time I talked about fat, and when we eat fat, it takes a bit of time to turn fat into energy within our body. Our body needs to turn the fat into carbohydrate before it can use it as energy. So if you eat carbohydrate, it's very fast, we get lots of energy, and we can run and cycle and do things very quickly. That's why when you see runners and cyclists, they have these little packets that they eat, these gel packets. Those packets are usually just filled with like sugar. So it's a very quick source of carbohydrate. Carbohydrate, like I said, comes from things like flour, different types of flour, grains. So rice is a type of grain, wheat is a type of grain. And these are really dense or really full of carbohydrates. So you might think, potatoes is a place to get carbohydrate. So potatoes do have carbohydrate, but potatoes also have quite a lot of water content in a potato. So actually, if you weigh like 100 grams of potato and then 100 grams of rice, you'll see that 100 grams of rice will have a lot more calories, a lot more carbohydrates than potato. So grains are very dense in carbohydrate, but that was actually something that was very important for civilization, society, for us all living in towns and cities and villages and things, because before humans, we were running, chasing animals to catch for food, or we were looking for fruits and nuts and berries and things that were kind of hard to find. But when people started growing food, agriculture started, farming started, people could grow wheat and rice and things. We could get a lot of calories very easily. And, with calories, we could work more and we could build things. And basically it was like the beginning of civilization, according to the history that I know. So carbohydrates had a very important part of human history. But now a lot of people are scared of carbohydrates. You might see these days, people are talking a lot about low carb diets or even no carb diets. So there's a very popular one called keto at the moment, keto diet. Before there was Atkins diet was popular a while ago, and that disappeared, and now it's come around, and now it's keto diet, which is kind of the same thing again. So it's not a new idea. A lot of people have been scared of carbohydrates. I think probably since like 1970s or 80s, people have been scared of carbohydrates. A lot of people have this idea that carbohydrates are making us fat. And I might be annoying some people by saying in this video that I don't think that is true. And yeah, it's not just me. If you look at the science, there is no science that actually backs this claim. There's no real science that says carbohydrates are going to make you fat. Really, it's just down to calories in, calories out. So if you eat more calories than you consume, then you'll gain weight. But when people are saying carbohydrates are making you fat, it's just not true. Some people find that it's easier to lose weight if they don't eat carbohydrates, and that's probably because if you're just eating fat and protein, like I said earlier, it takes longer to turn this into energy. It takes longer to break it down in your body. So if you're only eating like meat and nuts and avocados and you're eating lots of fat and protein, and also vegetables like fiber, then you will feel satisfied or sated. You won't feel hungry so quickly. If you eat like a banana or some fruit or some bread or something, these carbohydrates, our body uses it very quickly, and you usually feel quite hungry again quite quickly after. So for some people, not eating carbohydrates can help them lose weight in that way. But the reason people try to avoid carbohydrates is because of this process of our body having to break fat down into energy. A lot of people say, that helps them to burn more calories or something. But actually, if you check the science, it's just not true. But it's very popular these days. And you see all these foods that are like, no carbs, no carbs. But our body needs carbs. Actually, if you don't eat carbohydrates, your body basically becomes sick. Your body gets into this state called ketosis, which is where this keto diet comes from. And, you're sick basically. So if you do lose some weight, it's just because you're like ill. You're like making yourself ill. So please don't be scared of carbohydrates. They're not bad for you. And, we need them. And you can get healthy carbohydrates and unhealthy carbohydrates. So if you're just eating donuts, that's not a good source of carbohydrates. But if you're eating brown rice or whole grains, so whole grains means like, when you have wheat flour or rye flour or millet or, any of these grains, and you have the complete grain, so not the white version. So if you have like brown rice instead of white rice, then it's a healthy source of carbohydrate. And of course, so is fruit, and things like that. So just try to eat like real healthy foods. Don't worry too much about being scared about carbohydrates. And that's pretty much all I have to say about carbs. So like I said, I'm not an expert. Please don't get angry at me if you're following like a keto diet or a no carb diet. Look it up on the internet. You'll see there's no science that actually supports it. It's just a bit of a fad at the moment. But what do I know? I'm not an expert, just giving my opinion. And I thought you could learn some words to talk about carbohydrates and also nutrition in general. So I hope this helped. If you would like to take a lesson with me, check the links in the description of the YouTube and the podcast, and you can come to italki, take a lesson with me. If you'd like to support the channel and hear more episodes, check out the Patreon. There's a link in the same place. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe, like, comment. If you're listening to the podcast, follow and review. Everyone share with your friends, and I'll see you all back here next time to talk about protein next. Okay, thank you.